Right now on AM Live, changing focus, the plan Governor Newsom will share with Californians today when it comes to the next phase of the pandemic.
Plus, our Fresno County School District is going against state masking guidelines.
And firefighters are working to gain the upper hand on flames burning near an airport. The evacuation's in effect in Inyo County.
ABC30 Action News AM Live starts now with breaking news.
And that breaking news this morning is out of central Fresno. That's where firefighters are on the scene of a house fire.
Action News reporter Amanda Aguilar is live with what we're learning at this hour. Good morning to those of you joining us at 6:30. Here's a look at your downtown Fresno Skycam.
Let's get a check of the weather with meteorologist Madeline Evans.
We've got a pretty nice afternoon ahead. We saw some much needed rain and snow yesterday, and we're going to be clearing out as we head throughout the day today. So clear skies over the valley, seeing plenty of sunshine already. We're still seeing a little bit of some leftover snowfall over the Sierra Nevada. That's towards Huntington Lake and Shaver Lake, but that is also starting to fizzle out right now. A little bit of snow towards Three Rivers and Springville. Once again, the valley is dry, but a little farther south towards the Grapevine, keeping a close eye on that. Still seeing a little bit of leftover snow towards Tehachapi and Frazier Park. Still pretty cold out there. We're only in the 40s. We're at about 43 in Lemoore, 41 for Fresno, same for Madera, about 40 in Merced. By the noon hour, we're going to be in the upper 40s. 52 is our high for today, so still a bit chilly, but we'll be sunny. And by this evening, we'll be in the 40s. All that full AccuWeather forecast in just a bit, but first, let's get a check of traffic with the officer, Shasta Tollefson.
Happening today, Governor Newsom will outline the next phase of the state's pandemic response. The governor says it's based on lessons learned over the past 2 years. The plan will guide the state's approach to managing COVID-19 with a focus on readiness, awareness, and flexibility. Last week, the governor signed a $1.9 billion measure to fund vaccination and testing and reinstate COVID-related employee sick leave. The governor will make that announcement around 3:15 this afternoon. We'll bring it to you live on our mobile app or wherever you stream.
Also happening today, family, friends, and hundreds of law enforcement officers will gather this morning to honor a member of the Fowler Police Department. Sergeant Arthur Duran passed away on February 2nd due to complications from COVID. The 46-year-old spent 14 years with the Fowler Police Department. He is the first line-of-duty death for the department. Sergeant Duran was a husband and father of 4. Funeral services will be held at 11 this morning at the Worship Center Church in Fowler. A procession will follow to a cemetery in Visalia, where he'll be laid to rest. The police department has created a donation link to help support Duran's family. We have that link on our website, abc30.com.
Sierra Unified has voted to make masks optional. It's a move that goes against state requirements. Effective immediately, masks are now optional for district students and staff members. The vote came during last night's board meeting. The district says it will still provide N95 masks, but using them will be optional. Current state rules require all students wear face coverings indoors. State health officials say the requirement will be re-evaluated at the end of this month. Meanwhile, students and parents spoke out against mask requirements at the Clovis Unified School Board meeting last night. Student after student took the podium to protest the mask policy. 2 mothers said their daughters were among a group of students at Red Bank Elementary who refused to wear a mask and were taken to the cafeteria to do independent work. District officials say that moving a student to an alternate learning setting is the last resort when a student refuses to wear a mask.
We got a text message and a group message saying that our kids were on stage while other children were in the cafeteria eating.
Sometimes our schools are very full and every space is taken up. So it could be a multi-purpose room, it could be the multi-purpose room stage, which we use for classroom space sometimes.
A CUSD spokesperson said the district's hands are tied by state regulations. California health officials will give another update on February 28th to outline how they will move forward with masks in the classroom. The Clovis Unified Board is set to meet again on March 2nd.
As COVID cases and hospitalizations drop, the nation's health officials are working to determine their next steps when it comes to guidance. As Karen Chafa reports, this comes as the CDC is expected to put out revised recommendations next week.
As governors across the country from both parties ease mask mandates, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention said new federal guidance could be coming soon.
If and when we update our guidance, we will communicate that clearly, and it will be based on the data and the science.
Despite the drop in the number of COVID-19 cases nationwide, CDC Director Rochelle Walensky said federal decisions will put another metric in focus.
We must consider hospital capacity as an additional important barometer. Our hospitals need to be able to take care of people with heart attacks and strokes. Our emergency departments can't be so overwhelmed that patients with emergent issues have to wait in line.
Masks in schools for kids is another area where federal officials are cautiously watching the data.
I know that they are very carefully reviewing the information. I think CDC's job is to make sure that schools are safe.
In the South Valley, a teen is in juvenile hall for threatening to carry out a school shooting in Tulare County. It happened around 1 yesterday afternoon at the Alternative Achievement Program in Visalia. Deputies say the 13-year-old made the threats in front of other students and staff members. The suspect was arrested and taken to juvenile hall.
The investigation continues into a deadly helicopter crash in Fresno County. The pilot has been identified as 53-year-old Stephen Wilson. The chopper was reported missing around 11 Tuesday night. Around 3 a.m., a crop dusting plane helping in the search spotted the helicopter in an orchard outside of Coalinga. The helicopter was a crop duster from American West Aviation. Investigators with the FAA and NTSB arrived at the crash site yesterday afternoon. They're now working the crash site.
Then afterwards, we'll have the aircraft recovered to a secure facility where we'll continue with our investigation.
A preliminary report will be released in about 14 days. The final report can take up to a year, depending on the findings.
Evacuations are still in effect this morning in Inyo County, where a wildfire is burning. The airport fire started just after 4 yesterday afternoon east of Bishop and has since burned almost 1,800 acres. The blaze is burning near the Eastern Sierra Regional Airport. Strong winds are pushing the flames toward the town of Big Pine. No structures have been destroyed, but several parts of the Owens Valley are evacuated. There's no containment on the blaze at this time.
Assemblyman Frank Bigelow said he will not be seeking re-election. The state lawmaker represents the 5th District, which includes Mariposa and parts of Madera County. The Republican plans on taking a 2-year break to be with his family and will be back in the race in 2024.
New this morning, if you live near the Fresno Yosemite National Airport, expect a little more nighttime activity. The 144th Fighter Wing is running special training. The jets will be flying until 10 each evening through Friday. The base says it's tried to minimize late-night flights to reduce the impact on neighboring communities. It says pilots will continue to follow the noise abatement rules set by local officials.
The Fresno City Council will consider a major investment in public transit at today's meeting. Yesterday, council members representing 3 districts discussed the $11.4 million fax facility improvement project. The proposal calls for modernizing the existing fax facility and equipment to increase the quality of service for transit riders and create a safer working environment. Officials say one of their goals is to make sure the majority of people hired for the project are Fresno residents. Plus, they're aiming for 30% of the hours to be filled by new apprentices. Councilmember Miguel Arias says the project will offer prevailing wages, pension, and healthcare options for workers.
Our goal here was to keep as many Fresno workers here, attract new Fresno workers into these good paying jobs, and of course, hire local businesses to do the work and keep as much of the taxpayer money here while building a pipeline.
City Council members are set to consider the project during their meeting later this morning.
New this morning, crews are making progress in the construction of a new Amazon facility in East Central Fresno. Overnight, workers poured concrete at the site of the new 43-plus acre lot on Clovis Avenue between Highway 180 and Olive Avenue. Last week, a permit application for the development was filed to Seyfried Industrial Properties. The applicant proposed to build a new 184,000 square foot delivery station that would operate 24 hours a day. And if you're planning a trip to Yosemite this summer, you'll need to make a reservation slot during the national park's peak hours. Starting on May 20th, visitors will need a reservation if they enter the park between 6 in the morning and 4 in the afternoon. The reservation system will last through September 30th. You can start booking reservations on March 23rd at the recreation.gov. If you plan to stay at any of the Yosemite hotels or campgrounds, you will not need a reservation to be in the park during the peak hours. Officials say the system is to help manage traffic congestion throughout the busy summer season. The time is 9:42. Here's a look at Lake Cahuilla Skycam. Plenty of sunshine today with some slightly warmer temperatures, but changes are on the horizon once again.
Yeah, that change is a freeze warning that's prompting an AccuWeather alert. We have meteorologist Madeline Evans here with the check of the forecast.
Yeah, that's all from a storm system that moved through yesterday, brought some rain and snow, and it's bringing that really cold air. So we're seeing those rain totals up to about 1/4 of an inch for Porterville, just over 1/10 of an inch for Hanford and Visalia. Rest of the valley saw a few showers from this storm system. There it is just towards the south of us now, so it is pushing away, but you still see some of this counterclockwise motion. That could bring another chance at a little bit more snowfall for the higher elevations throughout the day today, but the valley will stay dry. So we're looking at clear conditions this morning, a little extra cloud cover, but that will continue to push out. A little bit of snow left over towards Shaver Lake and Huntington Lake. We're seeing that over Springville and Three Rivers, but that's also starting to fizzle out, and we're keeping a close eye on the Grapevine. It has been closed. Fraser Park and Tehachapi still seeing a little bit of that snow left over. So as we head into the 4 o'clock hour, still going to see a chance of more snow and rain over those higher elevations. Valley stays dry though, and we see plenty of sunshine, and then those freezing temperatures really roll in overnight. We'll drop into the 20s and 30s as we head into tomorrow morning, but then nothing but sunshine, and high temperatures will start to warm up as we head closer towards the weekend. Fog tracker, we usually get fog right after the rain, so we're keeping a close eye on it, but we're up to the full 10 miles everywhere. Air quality has improved quite a bit thanks to that rain, so we will see good air quality across the valley. However, burning is still discouraged today, so be aware of that. 43 right now in Lemoore, 40 in Merced, 43 in Fresno, Hanford at 42. Porterville at 40 this morning. By this afternoon, reaching a high of 52. We'll see gradual clearing throughout the day. High temperatures across the valley will all be in the 50s. Then we drop into the 20s and 30s for the next couple of mornings, but watch those high temperatures. They do go up. A high of 57 by Thursday and 60 by the time we head into Friday. I'll have one last look at the AccuWeather 7-day forecast in just a bit, but guys, I'll pass it back to you.
Maddie, thank you. Turning now to the Beijing Olympics and the big matchup between Team USA and Canada in women's hockey.
Plus, Michaela Schifrin is leaving the games without a medal in an individual event. ABC's Morgan Norwood has more from the Winter Games.
This morning, Canada's women's hockey team celebrating a victory after that highly anticipated matchup against Team USA. For the 4th time in a row, the U.S. and Canada facing off in a gold medal game at the Winter Olympics. For Canada, it was an on-site rematch after they lost to the U.S. in 2018 while taking home the previous 4 gold medals. Team USA simply looking to ride the momentum of their previous win. And from the ice to the snow, Michaela Schifrin leaving without a medal in the women's combined event. Michaela Schifrin entering these games as a medal favorite, looking to land on the podium. Schifrin competing in her last individual event.
Action News time is 9:45. President's Day deals are going on now.
Some of the major markdowns you can expect on products throughout the holiday weekend.
Plus, why it's not too late to get tickets to see Toby Mac in concert tonight in Fresno.